Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Friday night edition of Schmoedown Night in Canada. I am your friendly neighborhood soda, as always, joined by Dave and our very own Taco, who's coming from us from a remote location in the backwoods.
The Black Hills isn't the backwoods. Ironically, the place where Mount Rushmore is, but I didn't visit it. It was too far out of the way. We were biking. I'm not going to go 40 miles out of the way to see a bunch of old people on a mountain. I've seen it when I was a kid. It's fine.
I would because I've never seen it.
As a proud Canadian, I don't give a fuck about 4 old presidents in a mountain. I'm here to talk about the Schmoedown.
Yes, we had a great pay-per-view tonight. Either match could have easily headlined a pay-per-view, in my opinion. What did you guys think of tonight's event, which was called Schmoedown Versus?
I thought Dave was going to talk, but okay. He probably is talking. My internet's just so bad. So before I answer, I'm going to say, everybody, I'm literally using no Wi-Fi in the middle of a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And I'm also really stupid today because I biked 68 miles and my brain's all fried. So all that being said, I thought Versus was supposed to be, isn't that the one that's just one match? Or was that Battlefield?
I think that was Battlefield.
Oh, all right. Well, I was really surprised when this got an undercard out of nowhere for me. I was like, whoa, that's this match? It was great matches. Really competitive, amazing matches. And shout out to Machine for rocking my world today. She played really well. And dude, I used to be like, oh, but we haven't seen her, like maybe. I mean, I know she has it in her. I was one of those guys. She has it in her. She plays amazing.
This was her coming out party. For me, this was her true coming out party. What about you, Dave? What do you think of tonight's card?
Man, what a fucking shame that this match happened in May and not November. Because if this was a Versus in November, both of these matches are nominated for match of the year because this was the quality and level of just both entertainment and competitiveness that we saw tonight. These are two of the greatest matches we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't argue with you on that one.
For Schmoedown players playing the Schmoedown, this is as best as it gets. It might not be flashy. This is just good players playing good. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't give a crap about challenges or drama or Roka crying about whatever. I want good players playing good.
I would almost disagree because I think this is peak Schmoedown. Agree. Because as much as I love seeing Alex Damon and Damon Lonta going 70 questions without missing a single thing and everything, that's not the Schmoedown to me. The Schmoedown to me is fucking two people getting in there and throwing hands and just doing the best that they can, both from an entertainment standpoint and answering trivia questions. And both of these matches exemplified those things for me.
Yeah, both of these matches were just really, really good. The Marisol Janine one, I think for me was the better match because it had lower expectations. But that's not to take away anything from the Inner Geekdom match because that was just as good, but it was what you expected from those two.
Yeah. I was talking to, I'm not going to name this human, but I was talking to somebody who also watches Schmoedown, and he's just like, man, this whole setup's to get Marisol a singles title. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, she's playing somebody below her weight class and then playing Kevin Smith who's below her weight class. And I was like, I don't quite understand. Like, sure, she's easily the favorite out of these guys, but I'm like, and I can't argue because I know Machine's record and I know she's like hasn't played as good as I know she can. But this match had to have showed him that he's completely wrong. She didn't stomp Machine. It was a really competitive match. And yeah.
The only question she missed was the 5 point.
Yeah, which was hard, wasn't it? Maybe I'm dumb. Wasn't it super hard?
Yes.
Yeah, this is why
I'm drinking. I'm not trying to talk.
No, but also like, and let's just get right into it. And you know what? This is what I love about these kind of shows where it's just kind of jazz, where we're just kind of talking. There's no right notes. Yeah. We're just hanging out, three Schmoedown fans. And yeah, what are you doing, Taco?
I'm brain dead today, man. Sorry, I shouldn't be here. Keep going.
When Janine turns her board around, and you can see the look in her eye, which is like, and for my first perfect round,
she was so happy,
and I'm so happy. God. I came into this as is well documented on Shows of the North. I'm a huge Marisol fan. I believe she's the best player that Corruption has. But when Janine turns her board around, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Janine, you get it. You deserve it.
Yeah, I'm going to put this again in wrestling terms. She reminds me of the DDP of the late 1990s. Because DDP was somebody who nobody ever thought had a chance because he started his training a little late. He was floundering around the mid-card, wasn't really getting a shot.
Diamond Dallas Page. Okay, cool. It took me a second.
And then all of a sudden the people started cheering on him organically, which is what happened with Janine. And now you can't help but be behind her. She's like the people's champ. That's what Janine is. She is the people's champ of the Schmoedown. No matter who you're playing, it could be Dan Murrell. You're still going to be rooting for Janine. She just has that quality about her.
Yeah, and I've rooted and wanted her to win since before she played. When she was doing play-alongs on Facebook and getting 100%. And I remember those, and I was like, dude, she's going to kill. And then I was like, oh, Jay Washington has her. Jay Washington's a good fit. She's playing Bonnie Somerville, so this match doesn't matter. But then and then when she moved on and she did really good in that, I was like, dude, she's the real deal. And then she just had years of bad luck, and it's so tragic at this point. It's so sad. And
that's what it is. It's bad luck. It's bad luck.
Sucks.
Her talking about, this is my senior season. It's like, oh my, she has been here since season 5.
Yeah,
she has been here for forever and just been a fan favorite and someone who, through it all, I have always loved to see play. Whether she's playing Bonnie Somerville or Chance Ellison in New York, I have loved to see Janine play. And you know what? No better time than to get right into that match. Who did you guys think was going to win when you saw this lineup?
Marisol.
It was Marisol, yeah.
I mean, and I wasn't going to give my friend the credit. I didn't think it was going to be a stomp, but I'm agreeing with you, Dave. I'm buying into the hype of Marisol. I think she could beat anybody right now. Maybe not on her bad days and their good days, but I think it's a possibility that I will not bet against her, period, right now. But I want to bring up history. Janine just hasn't been there. She's been like here, but she just hasn't been that S tier, I'm going to go perfect in a 5-round match, watch me type player. Yeah. And she's always been good. And I want her to, though. I want her to get up there. But Marisol is there. And that's it.
That glass ceiling to that next level, it's almost like Janine is just out of her reach.
I really think
if she would have beat Marisol, she would have been in that. I was going to say, watch out.
Pulling it away from her. Like she's just about to touch it, and nope, it rises.
If you guys want, for those watching, if you guys are consistent fans of Shows of the North, you know I have preached that every faction needs a Stacey Howard. Mm-hmm. Someone who is going to be almost there and consistently winning, but never get to a title match. And maybe I need to reevaluate. Does every faction need a Stacey Howard, or does every faction need a Janine? Because Janine is like the perfect person for any faction to pick up, where she is going to dominate that A tier. Yeah, but she's never going to break into the S tier.
But the nature of the Schmoedown is she's going to get a win in that A tier, and then she's going to play an S tier. So she's not going to get you consistent wins just because You can't go a couple wins without playing a Marisol or a Collins or a Bateman, as much as I hate Bateman, or a Roca or whatever. You can't get 2 wins in the A and Bs. They will always throw you an Irwin to show what's up. And that's
for me, she's the measuring stick at this point. Like, basically, you throw people against her to test them and to see if they can win. Like, to me, that's who she is. And we got a comment from Ben in the chat. I think the machine just needs her perfect manager, and I think she found it with Roxy. I do think the machine will end up in S tier this season because of it, and I actually do agree. I think she's got it very much in her to go on a solid run in the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament.
If she has the chance. This is a crowded league. It's very crowded. If she gets put in a singles tournament, I'm going to shut the fuck up. But if we're waiting on her just getting another singles match, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how we're dealing with this, but like based on the stars, she is probably an upper tier star now based on
for singles.
For sure. Yeah. It's Damon and then Janine. That's okay.
Well, Snyder is going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, Snyder's the best player on the star.
I had to pull it back. That's why I said
I'm sorry.
Damon, Janine.
Well, and that's something we'll talk about in just a minute. But
yeah, we will. And I just got reminded of it, and almost sad. By the way, I didn't watch. I came in 30 minutes late. To watching this throwdown or this versus. So I came in during Marisol getting introduced. So I didn't get to see anything before that. So if there's anything I missed,
there was a cluster F of an opening scene. That was
part of Rushmore's. Because I watched that.
Yeah, it was.
Or did they repurpose it?
You're
sorry. I've watched all the matches today, so
it's all good.
No, today's opening scene is mirrored in today's final scene, which is my new favorite Jay Washington is sad Jay Washington.
Yeah.
Where it's like, please, Marisol, she's going to lose this match. She's definitely going to lose. And if she wins, she's definitely going to lose to Kevin Smith.
There was a final scene?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm not ready.
I missed the final scene as well because I hopped in here getting ready to
70 miles on a bicycle, guys. I am not ready. I should be here. I want to be here. I haven't missed a Friday in weeks.
So, let's just jump around in the first match before we get into the IG match, which I know we have a lot to talk about there. But one of the big things is the institution of the benefit of a doubt rule when it comes to
he heard corruption calling his name.
Oh, Daniel.
Before I continue my thought, Daniel, the Schmoedown Quebecer himself, how do you feel about Marisol versus Janine?
I mean, that one definitely kind of rips your loyalties in two as like someone who wants to support the Canadians in the Schmoedown, but also doesn't want to support the rock stars.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Also, they're called the Stars. Learn the Schmoedown, Daniel.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Guys, this fucking guy, he's been here for 5 months.
Right? The new kid?
Dude, I've been here all season. I've been here all season.
Months? No.
I came in the first I came in, all right, when was the first one? February? 4 months.
Actually,
wow.
Come
I was part of the
that,
first match. I came in the first match.
That's right, you did.
I recently just got my 1 year Twitter anniversary thing, which means I joined Schmoes of the North a little over a year ago. So, like the actual
awesome.
Show, Schmoedown Night in Canada.
Yeah, because you were with us at the beginning.
No, but I didn't get on Twitter till I was a host.
And you were still a host before me.
That's true. That's true.
But Daniel. But so what do you I'm about to go into the Marisol challenge in dance movies. Do you have any thoughts about that since you're just joining us?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I actually have a lot of thoughts about that.
Okay, let me open another beer.
Because there have been questions about song titles with parentheses before, and they've actually been ruled differently than this one,
Yes,
if I can recall off the top of my head.
Were any of those at the beginning? Because it actually changes things if the parentheses are at the beginning of the sentence than it does if it's at the end.
Also,
Really?
can we
My
state the
opinion is-
challenge? Can we state the challenge really quick? Because for people,
Yes, of course.
like, what was the challenge? What was it?
Well, the song was I can't remember the exact wording, but basically it was what song was sung by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warren, which is the immortal song from Dirty Dancing, "I've Had the Time of My Life," which is how everybody knows it. However, it's got around it's got brackets on it officially, and when it's funny when that happens, I don't think it's considered actually part of the sentence of the title. So it could be, it's one of those, it could be taken either or, but I think officially in like English language, the parentheses does not officially count, I think.
Yeah, I think now I'll throw it back to Daniel after I finish talking, but I think the way Mark Ellis phrased it, which was when you put it into Google, YouTube, or other search engines, it's like, are you not sponsored by Bing? Is that not why you're saying Bing, the #1 search engine, as stated in Amazing Spider-Man? Bing is the search engine of choice. But
I hate everything that just happened. Okay, keep going.
When you put it into, if you are able to get the song back, is that not how it was received? And the parentheses at the beginning, I think, does make a big difference. Because it is, what is the song commonly referred to as? Because I said the same thing as Marisol, and I was like, oh shit, I'm wrong. Daniel.
Okay. Yeah.
Daniel, talk.
There are two things that I do want to clarify quickly before I decide. And I come out in favor of the ruling that they used here. But one thing is another song, if you were just trying to pick the name of it out of the lyrics, there are a number of songs that are tricky that way. Like Journey's Don't Stop Believing. You can take almost any line in that song and convince me it's the title of that song. And
just a small time girl.
It has so many repetitions as well. Like you really could say like that song's called Midnight Train. And yeah, maybe.
Daniel, I think that Daniel, to be fair, I think that's showing yours and my age.
Well, no, I mean, I also know the song. I'm intimately familiar with the Journey song, but also I'm saying if Journey had named that song Midnight Train, it would have the exact same meaning to it. It is just, and the other thing is, you will often add those parentheses so that your song can be searched separately from other songs of similar titles. And that is not like the case here. Like there are songs by the similar title, but they put the parentheses to distinguish themselves. It's advertising for the artist because there are only so many things. There are a lot of songs about having the time of your life. It's a thing people do quite often.
Basically, the I've had part is like Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like a subtitle is what it is. That's what that is. So the official title should be I've Had the Time of My Life based under that reasoning. I've been looking at it.
And that is how I rule, and in most cases, that's how I think of any song I've ever seen a parentheses in. I have omitted it from my brain in most cases and only think of the songs as the title.
Yeah, like give me a second. I've got the song on my phone. I'm going to see where it ends up and alphabetically. Yeah,
so she specifically didn't say the parentheses part, and that's the issue.
Yeah, because to be fair, I'm with Marisol here, where I think based on the experiences of this season's of Schmoedown players, that is an acceptable answer.
Mhm.
Because
it's actually it is based in grammatical.
Yeah, and the benefit of a doubt rule that has been instated as shown in the Schmoedown rulebook gives people enough leeway that if you can find a song that has parentheses, the thing you didn't say, you're correct.
Mhm.
And I think that's enough. As long as you're playing within the rules and it's not the benefit of a doubt rule discards the Sir versus Lord of it all, but I think it includes this bit.
Here's a great example.
Okay.
You want to hear a song that everybody knows that has a large parentheses that nobody knows?
Gonna warn you, I don't know music.
Yeah,
we know, Dave.
Well, also,
Moving on.
this is going to be another case of pointing to our age. But again, I grew up listening to this band. It's one of my dad's favorites.
Okay.
The Rolling Stones' Satisfaction.
Yeah, it's I can't
The
get
song
no
title is I
satisfaction.
Can't Get No,
Yeah.
in parentheses.
Daniel.
Satisfaction.
We're talking about the exact ages of our fathers now because my father also made me listen to that song a million times.
And my parents didn't grow up listening to that.
I want
It's
to.
the
I
end
want to
of the
steer.
world as we know it has a parentheses.
Yep,
And it's
yep.
and I feel fine.
Yeah, I knew that
song
one.
title is too long.
I want to say something. And this is I want to steer away from the benefit of a doubt rule, but I want to bring up a different. Help me out with words. I am brain dead today. But I want to bring up a different example, I guess. What's the name of Birdman? If the question was Birdman, could I say
right.
Birdman
Yeah,
and get it right? But if I said Birdman, I would get it right. President. That's the word I'm looking for. Also, what's the name of the Borat sequel? I can say Borat's subsequent movie film and get the question. That has a title that's like for blah 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 Kazakhstan, and also the Birds of Prey sequel. I can say Birds of Prey 2 and get it right. If these are all
that would be
correct
wrong.
answers,
I would challenge Birds of
Why?
Prey
Birds of
2
Prey would
because
be
it
wrong.
is
no,
not
they've
Birds of
said
Prey
it, but
2.
they've said it's right. That's happened before.
No,
Birds
that's the
of
thing
Prey
that has
is
happened.
Prey
in this
is
world.
right.
Not Birds of Prey 2.
Yeah, Birds of Prey is right.
Oh, sorry,
Birds
it's not
of Prey
2. Sorry.
is not right.
I
because
just
there
said
is
I'm brain
no-
dead.
No,
Yeah, you're
wait.
right. There is no Birds of
here
Prey
knows
2.
the full
You're
title of-
right. There is no Birds
Who
of Prey.
here knows the full title of Birdman? I have it up.
Birdman? Oh, it's the
I
unexpected virtue, or the unexpected virtue of its the unexpected virtue of. Damn it! I'm one word off. Oh my god! All right, Dave. What is it?
It is the
Ignorance.
unexpected virtue
Ignorance.
of-
Ignorance.
I got to and he fucking said ignorance. I'm gonna come. August
Bring it
24th
on.
is
Bring
when
it
I
on.
get my
Bring it on.
August 24th is when I get my second dose of the vaccine. I'll come to America.
America.
Dude, I would love to beat up somebody who is like 6 inches taller than me, but still technically in my same weight class. I would love to do that.
6'5", 240. But
Dude, you're
Daniel,
probably a really fucking beautiful man. You're all tall and stuff. Oh my god.
I am.
Anyways,
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it sucks. He has to duck every time he goes onto a C train or a Sky train or something like that.
It
One
does.
of my
so
best friends
let's
is 6'4",
talk
and he has to do
about-
it every time.
Let's talk about more
Schmoedown?
how fucking so obviously we want to talk about we want to talk about Mara versus Mike. So we'll get to that in a second. Obviously, Marisol, congratulations on the win. We have talked about to death the perfection of this match. Where do we see Janine going now?
I don't think she's going anywhere.
Who also got a really good loss this year? Who was playing in the upper echelon? Not I wouldn't say lawn. Who was like a play-in match for the who did Bateman play? There we go. Who did Bateman play?
Right.
Riley, give her. Oh, she already had Riley. I would say give her somebody that one of those guys had to play to get into that conversation. Give her somebody who just had a loss.
I actually like someone just outside that conversation. You could go the winner or the loser of who played Paul Preston? Bibbs?
Oh,
yeah.
no, sorry.
No.
That was Paulo Yama.
Oh, yeah. No, that was also in that conversation.
It was James White. White.
Okay. So,
That's not a bad
maybe
one.
not James White. I wouldn't go James White because I believe he is now like 1-2 and has played.
He is I think he's 2-2.
What about a 2-0 guy like Rick Radis or something?
Yeah, I would go for one.
What about a rookie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that. Also, that match would be super entertaining. Rick Radis versus Machine.
Honestly, I would say, and it's not just because I want her to get as many matches as she deserves. I would love to see her versus Video Drew. I would love to see because one of my favorite matches of all time that never gets talked about is Looney Bin versus Time Machine. Like, where she's talking about, I need my aux port, and how do you spell cat, Christian?
Is that the one with the how do you spell cat moment?
How do you spell cat? Like,
which is the moment everyone
found out. A gift. She bought her a gift of WD-40 because she's a machine. She gave her a bottle of WD-40. That's one of the funniest things.
Here's the thing. That's the great moment from that match. The thing people forget is in between round 2 and 3 in that match, Video Drew pulled out a basket or like a hat or something of a bunch of different cords. And someone came and got them, and Janine took one and was like, does this one fit? Does this one fit? Like, Janine versus Video Drew is a match, especially in this iteration, with Kaiser as Video Drew's manager. I would love to see that.
Me too, but that's not something
like my favorite pairing.
You just said that's something I want to see in studio to see what they can do with props and stuff.
And hopefully
I really want to see.
You know
what I really want to see?
What?
When Marisol comes out to Collision, I want to see her with her own music. Because she has now beaten 2 competitors in a row with their own theme music. And it's about time she gets given that treatment as well, I feel.
Getting wins above her weight class. Like, or like, come on. Give it, like, come on. Where's my props? Yeah, no.
And also, I mean, Janine has had hers forever. She's one of the, like, longest
one of the first
competitors with a David B soundtrack, even.
Now, man, how upsetting was it? Because when I started this match, me and my fiance were looking at the TV, and I say, "Who do you want to win?" She says, "Janine," and I say, "I also want Janine to win." But 2 weeks ago, I made a proclamation that Marisol is the best player in Corruption, so I need Marisol to win.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
This was like, also, how fantastic is it that we have gone this far, and like, this has not been how great was it that these 2 fantastic women played each other. It was how great was it that these 2 players played each other. This is a far cry from the Schmoedown of 2017.
Yeah. Thank Jeebus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Speaking of some things that have changed, I guess, since 2017, we had the main event of Mara Kanopic and Mike.
Oh no! Stop! There's something that happens before the main event that changes the history.
Whoa! Do we want to talk about that afterwards? Because I got a feeling that might take up a lot of discussion.
Here's the thing, Soda. I think
we need to talk about that.
I think we should talk about it now, because based on how the 4 of us have talked, the main event will take up more time than this.
And
Okay,
also,
okay.
I don't know how long my internet's gonna last. So no.
Okay.
Let's
So
do
between matches, before Harloff went to the normal 5-minute intermission they do between matches during pay-per-views, he had said that there is an announcement coming from Grace when we come back from the break. He had put that out on Twitter. We come back from Grace, and she has Mark and Draco, who drops a massive bomb on everybody by announcing that he is retiring from the movie Trivia Schmoedown and thus giving up his title. What did you guys think of this?
Holy crap. All right. May I?
Yeah. Because you're the one who might most likely to lose service first, so go ahead.
Thank you. I'm in a cabin in the middle of the woods. Well, there's probably a cabin in the woods situation. Do you guys ever think of that? Maybe the government's watching me.
Wait. So, Taco, before you talk, Daniel, Taco has not seen today's
Yes,
match.
Thank
He
you.
has not seen the final round, so do not spoil that for him.
I watched.
It's okay.
Yeah, I was watching
Neither
it on
have
my.
I.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
I was watching it on my bicycle, and and I was being really rude to the two guys I'm biking with. They're like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm watching Schmoedown." Shut up. But well, we also hit like it's actually a really good part of the ride because I finally started going downhill and I finally got to go all the way gear up and I was just flying and I was listening to a really good match at the same time. It was probably the best part of the day. It was a good way to end a really painful bike ride. Okay, anyways, we're talking about Draco.
Never heard of him, Rob.
Yeah, we're talking about the Draco retiring for now.
Okay. Yeah, this has a lot of connotations because of factions. And this is exactly what happened last week, retiring. He's not just, this is one of the most effective leaves that there can be. Like, freaking pick a normal singles player, IG player, Star Wars player to leave. Guess what? They're gone. That's it. But you got a really high draft. We're not even drafted. One of your top 2 players, like you signed on. But he's got to be considered her tied for number 1 player. Well, maybe not because Snyder's playing singles. But anyways, he's
number 2.
Like, yeah, definitely your number 2. No offense, Alex Damon, but he's such an important part of her faction, her picks. I feel really bad for Roxy because now she has how do you replace, even if you just somehow can grab the best person from free agency, you're not grabbing a Mark and Draco because there's like one Mark and Draco. And it's, are you going to be able to find somebody to replace? Also, now that the team's titles are vacated, which is another giant thing. And
next week, yeah.
Yes, because we just had a tournament to see who plays these people after they beat corruption. Maybe I don't know who won. I don't know who won. Maybe beat corruption. But what else was I gonna say? God, I can't believe I completed this many sentences.
No, but to carry
it's just
on with,
so insane, is what I'm saying. Just him leaving is like Roxy might have probably cried on the phone with him before this film because that's horrible.
Mark Draco he's been very vocal about the fact that he does not want to be a singles player.
Yep.
He joined the singles tournament last year for the faction, but he's a teams player. I could very much see him taking a Rachel Cushing-esque approach to the stars. Where
he should. Yeah,
where we all know Rachel Cushing is helping the people who are in the unusual suspects, sorry. But like but when we think about like, oh, who's this person? Rachel Cushing, she can't take a place because then it would say she's back in the league. I think Mark Draco, and I'm happy that he is getting these opportunities that he is saying he has. Mm-hmm. And I would really like to see him take a Rachel Cushing-esque spot for the stars.
Yeah.
Or
even like a Smets, how Smets is still like part of the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'm gonna comment on like what Taco was saying about replacing Mark and Draco. I do not think you're trying to replace Mark and Draco, but what you are doing is possibly breaking up Blackjack. I mean, there's a possibility.
Yeah.
She has a number of pretty strong like people with not a lot of matches and a lot of people who we have not seen yet in any capacity. So we don't really know what is truly there.
No,
No, but Janine's a good replacement because she does fill a lot of Snyder's gaps like Draco did.
now
I was going Jacoby.
Now-
I would have went Jacoby on that one.
Well, can I say I'm completely outside the box, maybe, where I think back to the Champion of Champions match last year, where it was Dan versus Roka versus Smets versus Damon.
Yeah.
Damon came third to Roka, where like does a Snyder versus Damon, that makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, Ben, I love you, but no. I love Ben, but I do not see that. I do not.
No, I honestly do, because I think category 9 last season, they were eliminated early because they played deception, but I think they could have had a really good play where Brandon Hanna has shown he has a at least B player level knowledge.
Then get him an A player. You're talking about the great, arguably, and in my opinion, the greatest team player of all time, Snyder. You're not going to give him some rando.
But
You pair Snyder besides Janine, which we've already kind of talked about her being an A player, but we don't know what Jacoby is. Jacoby's really good. I want Jacoby.
Give Snyder Damon, who is
not bad.
No, because he's an A tier player in IG, an S player in singles.
To be fair.
Star Wars, you mean?
Star Wars, sorry.
S player in singles.
No, I apologize. They both start with S, and I'm dyslexic. An S player in Star Wars, and at least a B player in singles?
Maybe. We don't know. We saw him play in one exhibition match. He might have just had the best day of his life. We've seen Jacoby play better than that in 2 of his matches.
Which is why, okay, let me stop you guys arguing by...
We're not arguing.
And after Dan says this, let's move on to the IG.
Yeah. Neither Damon or... I was actually thinking Jacoby at first because Janine does have that sort of rom-com overlap with Snyder. I know he's seen a lot of, at least the good ones. And so, like, there is some overlap. The reason Janine becomes the right pick as Snyder's partner is the IG factor. I think Janine makes your 2A player with Snyder, and she also brings that inner geekdom specialty that Snyder absolutely does not have, and to a degree, and Draco did not either. This could end up like almost like kind of like losing a star player on one of your sports teams, but because somebody else moves up the lineup and kind of fits that position better, the whole success of the team actually moves upwards rather than downwards. There is a lot of possibilities. The only issue is that's looking up at breaking up Blackjack. You could also look at one of their other players, like Hannah, who isn't on a team right now. David Del Rio is a star, and I was looking at his name on the roster there and wondering about that. The final thing I wanted to say on this topic is I do believe
Del Rio's not a star.
I thought he was. My bad.
Wait a second.
Okay. But yeah, the final thing I wanted to say was I think one of the coolest things they could do is like when Jeff finally does get his partner, he should have a quicker route to the title.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
Like, honestly, maybe even number one contenders.
I would put him in a number
I
one
think a
contenders
shot
match.
that
That's what I
one.
would do.
I think
He
like a
ju-
number 2 contenders match.
Yeah, he
Like
just
a winner
lost.
gets a number 1 contenders match.
He
Gotcha.
just lost a number one contenders match. So
Well,
In
well, my,
singles.
yeah, my point is
that's
like
what we're talking
if-
about.
because no, I'm talking about teams.
What are we
Oh,
talking
I'm
about?
talking about Snyder
Yeah, I thought
and
we were
his
talking
new
about teams.
teams partner should be given a number one contenders match in the teams division because Snyder didn't vacate the belt on his own,
Mhm.
and like
He shouldn't be faulted.
he honestly should be able to like draft, like basically your player got injured in a sense, right? Your player can no longer compete for the rest of the season. You should be able to call up somebody and replace them, and if they fit into your starting lineup, that works even better down the road. But
I would honestly say that Jeff Snyder, regardless of who his team partner is, should get whenever the Ultimate Schmoedown Teams tournament happens, he should get the number one seed.
Depending on who's in there, but I agree. Like, depending on who else is in the like tournament,
yes,
but
like,
yeah, at least a high seed. I do agree.
and I disagree with this, that they should play a fellow rookie team, because I don't think it's like it doesn't feel like a rookie team when your team is like not up to you, broken up. You don't get to even lose your belt. Like the Shire Wolves were retiring. They at least got to play that last match and lose their belt.
Should
Like I'd have given one to Drew McWeeny.
here's the thing.
I
Are
do
we
like that.
setting up? Are we setting up
Or
a
Andrew Guy.
possibility?
But they didn't actually
Where-
get there.
Are we setting up a possibility where Jeff Snyder is traded to the Inglorious to Sam Levine, or Sam Levine trades Drew McQueen to the Stars after his loss to Lon? After his
Roxy would never give up Snyder ever.
I think
Ever.
it's much more likely after McQueen's loss to Lon.
I don't think so.
I think there's a chance before free agency ends that we see a McQueenie Snyder pairing. I hate that pairing personally because
I don't hate it.
I do, because I think they're the same guy. I think all the bet. I think
What did
all
they have
the-
between them? 94 teams wins? Shit.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well,
but not only that, but they get along. They're old friends. They've been in the same industry for 20 years. If you want that connection that you could just jump into two people who have connection. No, I actually really like Snyder McQueenie. I do. I like that. But who the hell are you going to give up to get McQueenie? You're going to have to give up somebody pretty big.
I think you give up. I think Hannah is someone you can give up.
I wouldn't make that trade.
Really? I
No.
think it's Hannah plus someone else.
Yeah,
don't
you
even-
don't want to do that straight up. That's
You don't do Hannah and McQueenie straight up, because McQueenie and
Okay.
Hannah are both coming off a loss. But I think you do Hannah plus one for McQueenie.
Who else is on the Stars, and how long can we spend on this before we get to the main event?
so. This is the
So the main event.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Answer my question. Is there anybody we're completely forgetting, Soda?
As of
honestly-
today,
Right.
this is the list of Stars players. You got Draco, you got Snyder, you got Damon, you got Hannah, you got Zach Burkett, you got Janine, you got Jacoby Bancroft, Felix Morit, who hasn't played yet, Ken Jack, who hasn't played yet, Jeff Lowe, who hasn't played yet, Christy V, and Brittany Young.
Yeah, Jacoby. Out of those.
No, I think that's a good trade. I think
I want to see Jacoby answer some Star Wars questions before I sign off on that, because a team with Snyder needs someone who can answer Star Wars questions.
You're right.
Well,
You
to be
need an
fair-
inner geekdom player. You need somebody who's good at inner
Janine.
geekdom to.
Janine's a triple leaguer.
That's why
Yeah.
and Draco Snyder, I think, is the team.
You mean Machine Snyder?
No, I mean Damon Snyder. I think
Damon said you said in Draco. That's
I did. That's the odd couple.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
It was a good team. You're right.
It was. So Soda, Taco,
Yes.
Daniel, Mara versus Kalinowski.
Speaking of IG,
Number
Speaking of
3.
IG, yeah.
We are in our third match. Who did you guys have coming into Mara Kalinowski 3?
As the Dungeon show, I had Mara because I love Mara and Dan. But goddamn,
I woke up and started watching the earlier match, and I actually had 2 shirts ready. I had this one, and I had the one Taco's wearing.
nice.
I decided to bike in this, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna do the show without telling anyone. I have this shirt." Sorry, keep going.
And yeah, so I watched the Marisol Janine match and then put on my corruption shirt right before the IG one started. And I was like, okay, I gotta make a decision now. This is war. You only get one choice. And so I picked Mike this time around, and it was a close match, but
No, it's
go ahead.
I want to
It's
explain
when-
my point.
Daniel made me realize Mike Kalinowski is my favorite Schmoedown competitor.
Whoa! All right, keep going.
Let's
I mean,
hear
not the best player on corruption, according to you, but yeah, keep going.
No, Marisol, I believe, is the best singles player on corruption.
Best and
She is-
favorite are not mutually exclusive.
I
Yeah,
have said
she
those
is-
openly.
Yeah.
But Mike Kalinowski is back in the season 5, like fantasy Josh McCouga doing fantasy updates days.
Oh
good old
my
days.
god! So
Me
me and
and-
him and Cobster? No, him and
Ace,
yeah, Cody.
Cody,
Yeah.
sorry. No, but like Mike Kalinowski I had both Drew McQueen and Mike Kalinowski in my fantasy league, and Mike Kalinowski was my number 1 overall pick. And I've realized that through it all, through face, through heel, I've always been a Mike Kalinowski fan.
Mhm.
As much as I say I love these other players, Mike Kalinowski is the guy for me. And so I've been KO, and I said at the beginning of this season that I thought the expansion of categories was only going to help people like Chance and Mike and the Barbarian. And I was proven right tonight.
I mean, to be fair, Mara
Mar-
belongs in that group as well, and
Yeah.
she proved it
Well-
a second time around.
No,
Yeah.
And I
she
just
did.
need to mention it because
And-
there were
and think
quite a
about
lot
this.
of people going on about Mara coming back and JTE coming back. And I had to like put the brakes on so many discussions of like, let's just see them play.
If I could, I agree with Daniel. And coming into this match, I did not think that because Mara proved herself in the Chandru match. And this match was much more of a toss-up for me. But the moment, I think it was the Damon versus Kalinowski, not the Damon versus Kalinowski match. It was Damon versus Barbarian. I was on with Daniel. And he made me realize, man, Mike Kalinowski is my favorite player. That was the moment I realized, I'm taking Mike over Mara no matter what.
Okay. Yes, I would love to answer the question of who I had going to this match. Thank you for letting me talk. But
We all know.
okay. So I drafted very infamously in our fantasy league. I spent my first pick on Kalinowski. And everyone said it was insane, which I didn't. I kind of agree, and that's why I didn't do it in my next one. But the reason why I did this is because I was looking at points earned last year, and that's what I was doing. I looked at all the things that Daniel will share about how many points everybody did, and it was like Chance scored the most, Mike scored the most, and it was like these 3 league players, and I was like, all right, my number 1 pick. I can't go name. I can't go belt. I'm going 3 league point earning players because it's not, I don't win fantasy league with belts. I win it with points. So I went with point earners, and that's why I went Kalinowski. And I really wanted Kalinowski to win to back up that really insane choice I made But at the same time, please go and watch my first ever Schmoes of the North, because we were talking about the Mark Konopic's return. That was one of the most insane displays of inner geekdom knowledge that has ever freaking existed.
Totally.
She made me rethink everything I've ever thought of about Mara Konopic. I was like, Mara Konopic, she was good in a different era. I'm an idiot. And then she did that. I'm like, I'm a big idiot. Like, she's amazing. So my head was saying this was Mara's game. My heart was like, give me those points, man. 7's a lot.
Yeah. That's the thing with matches like this. It's like it's easily a pick 'em. So it's like I wanted to go with Mara because I was as a dungeon fill, but it's like Kalinowski, if he hit a 1, would have been fine with me as well. Because I mean, to me, they're both on the same leveling playing field. But think about this now: Mara's record is 6-2. Her only 2 losses were title matches.
Now
against Kalinowski.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Kalinowski. I want to talk about the challenge, if I may.
Yes.
Because I don't want to talk about so much of the challenge itself, because that has been debated in the Facebook chats. And
I guess technically there wasn't a challenge to talk about.
There was not.
Can we please explain what we're talking about, and then we can talk about it?
Okay. So the question was, it was in Mars round 2. Or no, it was round
1.
It was in round 1. The question was, what is the name of Marty McFly's band in Back to the Future? Which the answer is Pinheads. Kalinowski wrote Pineheads. That's the thing. The placement of the E matters in this case because of where it's put.
It totally does.
The other E, you could still count it because it's still, you could argue it sounds like Pinheads.
Now, I will say, as a dyslexic person, it's totally fine. But what I more want to talk about here is this is not the first time we have seen Mike say, I don't want it to come down to this. I don't want it to come down to a bullshit challenge.
This is the first time he has also won that match.
Often
those decisions come around to bite Mike in the ass, and it's great that he got to be both the sportsman and the reaper of the rewards this time around.
Yeah, but do we feel as though, because in my opinion, the worst case, and we do not need to go through our entire Facebook chat, I get it, but the worst case scenario, you lose your challenge. Best case scenario, they rule in favor of you on benefit of a doubt rule. So, should Mike have challenged?
But there's a third factor that you're not bringing up.
Challenge.
No. This is why Kalinowski will never be a real heel for me, because he acts the heel and he plays the heel, but when he's actually playing, he's not the heel. He doesn't want to be a D-bag, like what Soda said. To specifically Mara. He didn't want to be that dick.
Okay.
And that's the third factor.
Do you know who Kalinowski reminds me of? He reminds me of the Fawns. That guy, he's a tough guy with a heart of gold. Kalinowski talks, he talks all the tough talk. He does all the heelish things, but when it comes down to it, he does have a good guy in him that will come out.
Honestly,
with a heart of gold.
Also, the best jukebox repairman of all time. All right, keep going.
At the end of the day, I see that more as him being better at being a heel. Honestly, if you're just doing things to piss off your opponent, you're just a dick.
And guess what? Heels are dicks.
To do that,
we're looking at you, Ben Bateman.
They're dicks in character. If you're a literal dick to your literal opponent, you honestly shouldn't be in the sport.
No, I completely disagree. No, I completely disagree. No, heel is your character plays the game. If you're not that level of a heel, then you're not that level of a heel. And if you don't want to be considered that level of an asshole, but guess what? If I was a heel, I would get a warning every single game. I would fuck with every single opponent. I would. It's my character. And also, it's a tactic. It's Ben is not only good because of his knowledge. Ben's good because he's one of our better heels because he constantly fucks with his opponent.
And this is why I would
forgetting. There's something you guys are forgetting is that there has been personal issues between Mara and Mike in the past that came out of the last match. So that might also have played into why he didn't do it, because in reality it is a dumb challenge. It really is.
It is.
As a dyslexic, I don't think it's a dumb challenge. I think it's a perfect.
Yeah, honestly, I
is Mike a dyslexic though?
Yeah,
was it a brain fart?
Are we gonna say prove your papers?
Well, no, Dave. Dave, what I mean by that? No, what I mean by that is if I had a brain fart, but I blamed it on a thing that I didn't have, that is fucking fucked up. Like if I was like, "Oh, I'm brain fart." Oh, but I'm mentally messed up this way.
Whoa!
This to me.
Sorry, that was a misspeak. I couldn't think of something smart. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't consider anyone dyslexia mentally messed up. I'm sorry.
Dyslexia. What exactly is it? Is it just words getting switched, like the letters getting switched around? Is it letters appearing, sort of thing?
It's both.
It's a lot of things.
No, like I don't even know how to respond to that because I am a mental health
and also like
Daniel.
Honestly, literally the one thing I know is that.
Sorry, Dave. I love you.
It's a bit of an all-encompassing thing.
Yeah.
And like for some people it's worse, and there's also both a numerical and an alphabetical dyslexia, and they're not mutually exclusive. So
True.
You could have one or both or the other,
both.
and so it's a very complicated thing. But the other thing I would point out that is a little more of a touchy subject is that, yes, Dave, you're looking at me weird, is like you wouldn't play hockey missing a foot?
Okay, whoa.
Okay, whoa. Basically, no. Like,
whoa.
You need to.
My internet's coming out. I'll see you guys later.
Again, like
it is possible.
Like if dyslexia was like as much of an issue for you that it was going to affect your answers within the game, you would not be able to compete in the game.
But it would make you a better player because you'd work against that. You train harder.
Version of it that is more verbal and less written, and that's fine.
I want to move on from the round one, not a challenge, which is if Mike Kalinowski says Pine Heads in round 2, I think Mark Ellis rules. That's close enough to Pinheads. Whereas if he writes it and he puts the E in, it's like, well, that's a big deal. But if he says the extra E, I don't think it's a big deal. Given this season's benefit of a doubt rule and the precedent of Tortuga versus Tortaga,
or
also,
Rowdy.
God, I hate that one. Sorry.
If I could throw one cap onto that, I would have given Mike the points outright had he realized when he like looked back at his board. If he had spun it around and said, "Well, I threw an extra E in there, but it says Pine Heads, but it's Pinheads," and yeah, you got it. You threw an extra E in there. Like, spelling is not as big a deal as, like, just because it accidentally formed a new word is not my issue with it. My issue is honestly more writing pine and saying pin.
Yeah, in reality, it's not, but you should hold it to the same standard as if you're challenging a similar mishap verbally. Like we said, Rowdy,
but also
it should be held to the same standard because, again, it's the placement of the letter changes the word.
But I also don't think Mike has a leg to stand on making the challenge because he wrote pine and said pin. He looked at that board twice.
Okay, but the funny thing is, I agree with Dave that the president was set, but I don't agree with the president. I don't agree with Tortuga whatever, and I definitely don't agree with Rowdy. Because what? So Rowdy Piper's name is Rowdy or Roddy Rowdy. So those words are the same. I'm sorry, but it does bug me.
Accent.
But I get where Harloff is coming from. Me and him disagree, and my opinion don't effing matter when it comes to Harloff's opinion. So we do have to go off the precedent set, which what Dave brought up, and challenge it because you're going to get it. Honestly, I think that going off of those two presidents, you're going to get it. But at the same time, Soda is the smartest dude in the room because he's right. That's why he didn't do it, because you've already created bad blood with playing dirty against Mara before. Don't do it. Your friendship's more important. What?
Yeah. And
well, Dave, what?
I was going to say before we go on to round number 2, I do have a little fact. It is possible to perform at a high level of athletic competition missing a foot, because in 1990, the Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich won the WWF Intercontinental title with 1 foot. Nobody did.
But we're talking about
but it's a lot harder to skate,
Soda.
and that's the point I was making.
And for those who are not sportsly inclined, Chad Mirabellum placed 7th in Survivor Vanuatu, and he had an amputated foot.
Okay, all right, let's talk about something that actually matters. The Phillies pitcher, whatever his name is, who was missing the hand, but he was a pitcher? He was a pitcher. It's your one job is to have a hand, and guess what? He was really good. So,
I'm like,
yes.
For pitching in baseball, you kind of really do need both of them.
Like, I would say...
The way he did it was nuts.
Man.
He had his glove tucked under somewhere.
Yeah.
As soon as he threw the ball,
he put it on. Yeah, he put it on his little hand and would flip. Yeah.
Now
it was insane, and he was on an episode of Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I love talking with Soda, Taco, and Daniel, but obviously we have to wrap up the show at some point. I'm not saying we do it soon, but I'm just saying we need to keep the show moving.
Oh shit, yeah.
Dude,
we're already over an hour, so let's just talk. Now,
okay,
isn't that what we've been doing?
Well, all right, let's just talk, man. You guys want to go on a bike ride next weekend?
Right. Do we think that Mike at any point was going to spin again when he landed on DC?
Oh God, no.
Oh my God!
That's the
what?
one thing. He would have
No.
Yeah, the challenge is one thing. He would definitely not have spun away from that. He
would never
play nice, but he does want to win.
No,
I don't think he was
screw it. The idea of the flex of spinning away from your freaking your strength is fun in an exhibition or like a random match. It's the freaking Interkingdom title match. I would stop respecting that guy if he spun away from his strength in an Interkingdom title match. You play the game to win, man. Like, he didn't put that on this board. It's not his fault. It's up there. He plays it.
He spun first, and he spun DC. No, you don't respin from your strength if you're going first.
Period.
I could see a world if he was spinning second and he knew the questions he was going to get in that DC category, because it wasn't his greatest round, and it definitely wasn't his best DC round, because there were some really not DC EU is that slice that Mike will kill every single time. There is no chance he misses a point. But it's like there are a lot of DC movies, and some of them that don't even fit within the DC universe so much.
Jonah Hex, and a lot of bad ones.
Yeah. And so kind of really I was thinking as you guys were talking there, maybe you do it if you know how much Mara's going to score and you know how much you were scoring in that round. He could have come out of it with a better round. But again, there aren't many more categories that are going to be that ace for him. I could name a few, but
and then also, if you're going to flex, if you get spinner's choice and say I can pick DC but I won't, that's a flex. But you don't spin off of it. You don't spin away from it. But yeah,
Ben Bateman did, and that was actually the greatest flex in the history of the
yeah. When
Schmoedown.
he was like 10 points ahead, whoop-de frick. If they were tied or if Andrew Guy was winning, he would spin away from frickin' Spinner's Choice.
Yeah, but here's also the thing
And-
you got to realize is now DC and DC or EU are the same category.
And
Are
that's
they?
it. It's like,
Yeah, they
DC
just
and
eliminated the
DC
two
EU
universe.
have been made one category.
I
but
didn't know
that's
that.
Like, if we look at the wheel, if like Batman was on there, if Mike Kalinowski is spinning
Superman.
second and he knows he cannot get Transformers and he knows he's only gonna get like what was it, like 7, 8? There was 2 multiples and he answered all of them, so 8. So if he knew he was only gonna score those 8 points in round 2 and that Mara was getting Transformers and taking it off the wheel, yeah, maybe you spin for Batman or you spin for
But
something like
but
more.
hindsight, you don't
Yeah,
know that you're going to
exactly.
get a hard DC question. And also, that's what low-key makes DC and Marvel, not MC or DCU, DC and Marvel low-key really hard categories.
No,
because they're really not easy categories because they're always the obscure, crazy DC stuff that no one cares, or Marvel stuff. When was the last time you watched Rise of the Silver Surfer?
True,
Right.
but also
A little
on
bit.
the other hand, those new categories aren't any better because John Humphrey's getting that Spider-Man category. I almost cried, and I've seen all of those movies many
Now-
times.
That
Again,
was hard.
if you want to hear about John Humphrey's Spider-Man category, check out Schmoes to the North on this Sunday. Also, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're at 112 subscribers. We want to hit 150 by the end of the year.
Why are you going to talk about John Humphrey?
Yeah, you're mixing up.
this weekend. John
you're
Humphrey
mixing
did
up,
not play an IG match for several months
Mixing up
now.
real rejects there, buddy.
It's what Daniel, to be fair, I was segueing off what Daniel said.
I know, but you did it wrong. I'm glad you
Also-
segued, but you did it wrong. If you say you want to see Humphrey's partners match, then you would have done it.
In his defense, I think Greg might have also spun Spider-Man.
Did he? Who did he spin? I watched that match.
or like got very close or something. Like I do remember something about him answering Spider-Man.
No,
questions,
no.
but-
To be fair, the entire time Daniel was talking, I was like, "How do I spin this off into a screenplay for our thing?" So I stopped listening. So I definitely fucked this up. But anyway, continue what we were talking about. Talking.
Watch us on Sunday.
Mm.
Okay. See? Screw segues. Watch us. That's
Yeah,
all
but
I got.
segues are so much speedier when you get them right.
All right, I don't. As much as I like punching Dave, we've been punching Dave a lot today.
That's 'cause Lou's not here.
Yeah, no, Lou's not here. Isn't it weird that like that's our punching bag?
It's weird that you say it's weird. We pronounce weird and better differently.
Oh.
Well, no, I was actually thinking weird that like we literally start our punching bag from the top and then we go to like the
Yeah, I
second
know.
most important member of the channel and then all the way down and then like we don't even like make fun of Taco.
No, you guys know I fired back really messed up and hard.
Daniel, it's cute that you think that Taco is below you after your attendance.
Oh my god! Hey, Dave, you're not supposed to punch down. Jeez.
That's the only way to end
there's
it.
a whole there's a whole other show below me.
Okay, so obviously
whoa. All right, for one, Ben and the gang are better than we are, okay?
So
just saying.
It's
I was talking about their show.
Oh, okay. Dan, I'm with you.
Yeah, not wrong. Our show gets more views than Daniel's, so
Has it had more episodes yet?
It's a Star Wars show, not already kicking everybody's butt. I'm pretty sure our Star Wars show.
It's in one episode. We definitely did more content than the comic book show so far.
Oh, we did more content.
Yeah.
We went an hour
The
past.
comic book show in one almost 3-hour episode.
No, all right. This is not a dick measuring contest, and I'm sorry that I brought it up.
Is it a segue?
Canadian hockey stick measuring contest.
So I'm sorry that so it's hard to talk about a match, obviously, where all the mistakes are in round one.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we think, Daniel, that the winner of the Chance versus Chandru versus Parker, blah, 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 whatever that ends up being, should play Mara before playing KO? Or where do we want to see Mara go?
I think Mara should.
Is your name Daniel, sir?
No, for real, Soda. Mind your business.
Sorry.
Know your place.
I think Mara, like a lot of people, gets bumped to the number 3 slot. Like Chandru is. And yeah, basically you. 1 second. Mara did not defend. Chandru did?
No,
yeah, Chandru defended.
Yeah, he defended versus Smets.
Yeah. And so that's it.
Mets.
No, he didn't. He beat Smets and got it. He's never defended.
Chance.
He never defended.
He defended
the Chance.
Yeah, he defended against Chance.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Nope. That's right.
Chance.
Yeah. And so, yes, Chandru gets the number 1 contender because he has a defense, and that's why he gets to be at the top of that new bracket. You become the de facto number 1 contender if you have that defense.
Mara should not get. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and also that's why Shazam immediately got to go back up and take their shot at the Odd Couple really quickly because they are the only team around with a record compared to Corruption, who they had beat. And so that's the way the rankings kind of spin each other around over and over again.
Has Corruption
but normally
and
with
Shazam ever faced?
I believe so.
I don't think so because
maybe not.
No, because Corruption lost to the Harris Bros.
What are you talking about? Oh, and that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that would be.
What I was saying there is, without a defense, you don't get the number 1 contender shot. You get dropped to the number 2 slot, and so she would be in the Damon Barbarian conversation for the next round.
I mean, they just both.
She's playing a number 2 contender match. Well, yes. And I'm saying neither of them are necessarily included in that run.
But there's got to be other
people.
rising IG. Okay, thank you. Yeah, all right, we agree.
But yeah, my point is she's in the number 2 contender slot, not the number 1 contender slot.
Yeah, I agree
You
with
only get that number 1 contender if you win a match with the belt.
I would honestly say Mara versus Chandru 2. Because Chandru,
I would love that.
Because Chandru has a defense and Mara does not. So I would honestly say Chance is getting overlooked. So I would give Chance either make it a 3-way, Chandru, Mara, Chance, or Chance, you get the number 1 seed in the IG turn.
I would do IG turn. I would do
Chance Mara. Yep.
For the right to face Chandru for the title match. That's what I would do.
What Soda just said. I think Chance Mara, which is an awesome match. I want to watch that right now. And then winner plays that one dude, and then winner plays for the belt.
I think you're underestimating Chandru, who I think played.
Also, just completely eliminating Parker from that conversation.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Parker. He's a guy.
No, like that. That is the thing where, based on the results of tonight, we know that it is
so
Chance versus Parker.
I know. When
And
I said that one guy, I meant Chandru. I was being
Chance
cheeky.
versus Parker, the loser of that match will not be in the next bracket. They will be pushed out. The same way Barbarian was pushed out by Alex Damon, and he's not anywhere in this one. Alex was in the last one and fell out of it too. And so we could see Alex Damon making a return to the bracket when we make the next circle around, because we're pulling someone out of it. And we always need a champion, a person set up as a number one contender, and those two people in the number two contender slot.
So do we think it is a Damon versus Mara winner versus Chandru versus Mike?
Yeah,
No.
this could be something like no.
I mean,
I'm so confused.
That's
Good God,
saying
guys,
that
what are we doing
Chandru,
Okay,
I don't think Chandru is in that conversation, because if he loses to the winner of Chance versus Parker, he's going to be pushed out of it until the next one. Like, this is iteration 3, not iteration 4.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Mara play somebody today?
Yes. She
Did
played
we want to
Mike
talk about
the
that?
3-time Interkingdom champion of the world, Mike Kalinowski.
Shut the fuck up. We have talked about it.
Okay, we should really be wrapping it up soon. Before we go, though, I want to ask this question. Since we just had the third match in their series, which one of the three do you think has been the best one so far? I personally think it was the first time these two met in the tournament final.
The one where she won.
The one where she won and one beat.
Yeah, she won. He took the belt, and then now this one.
I think that one's better because of the story going into it, with the tournament being Mike Kalinowski's coronation, and then you had this unknown rookie come out of nowhere and kick him right at the side of their last minute. That's why I think it's the best one so far.
Yeah,
I think their best match is Mara Mike 2 with the overtime play. Both of them have had a lead up. I think that is probably the best match in my head.
I gotta go with 2 as well, but if we're being all fair, I rank all of them a little bit below Mara versus Cushing, which was just
I'd agree with that.
Like that thing overshadows.
I will never be able to watch that again.
Mara match, because it's so tough to watch, but also like I watch it every now and then because it just makes
a great
you
one.
feel.
Yeah. And I would also put Rachel and KO above Mara and KO personally.
Mets
Mara
and KO? Where would that go? If we're
number one of my favorite matches of all time.
I put it below because we've only had the 2 matches so far between those 2.
Yeah, well, they're freaking Don't Tell Peter's one of the best matches of all time, period. I'm sorry,
true.
but holy crap. But no, so to answer that, Mara Kalinowski 2 has such a weird
that's
flavor to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a really weird flavor, and because also if you pay attention to enough behind the scenes and stuff, when we kind of talked about it before, Mara kind of walked away after that match because of like certain stuff, but also like even not knowing that, I remember the second it happened, she has the shortest post-match interview because she didn't want to be there, and it was like the most
heavily edited one as well. Like
it was literally like, "Hey, how was that match? Okay, bye." Like it was so weird. And I watched it twice, like, okay. And also a weird stink, and I know storylines, and I know it wasn't Schmoedown yet, it was Corruption, but, Schmoedown 1.0, but it was he didn't earn it. Mm-hmm. He was coming off of a loss in the tournament, and then he pulled his strings or whatever, and then he got it. That has this weird thing to me where I was like, I don't know if Kalinowski earned it, but then he won, so I can't say he didn't earn it.
And not just that, during Nerd Chronic's promo, they actually showed the moment where Mike won the title in the second match, and you could hear Mara in it, and I immediately went back to the weird feelings I had when it first aired.
it just has this weird taste to me. So honestly, by default, I'm gonna give it to this one. This was a really good match. I'm gonna give it the 3. One's good, but again, it's a different. Pre-Smets is a completely different IG to me. I'm sorry, but pre-Smets, like I think Smets blew up this the Inner Geekdom in such an amazing ways, and I think he's like one of my favorite players of all time. But I do have to give it to this match was really good, and I had no clue who was going to go. I mean, it came down to 1 point different on a 5-point question. What the? Whoa! This is a bloody match.
And a tough 5-point question as well. That's the thing. Like, it was a hard one.
It was I can't even remember it. I asked the whole group of people in the other cabin who are all drinking and having fun without me right now. I asked all of them it, and they were like, what? Yeah. Like, I can't even remember what it was. Also, there was a couple really hard ones in their speed round. Holy crap.
I was just thinking, I do believe that there could have been something that we didn't see happening around that time of Mike like being given a shot, because again, comparing it to like the rankings models that I was just talking about earlier, losing the tournament final like he did to Mara puts you very quickly into that number 2 contender slot as well.
After wins, losers don't get championship matches.
They get number 2 contenders.
Yes.
Or number 1 contenders, because like the division wasn't big enough, so you didn't have a number 2 contender slot. Yeah. I believe that after that tournament, Jason Inman stopped playing as well. Yeah, so you lost the champion. Mara became the champion, and the only other like contender around that time would have been Rachel Cushing.
Yeah,
and that means like a single lapse in scheduling, which Rachel has a busy schedule and was playing in 3 different divisions at the time. You can always think like they might have had a Mike Rachel 2 on the books in those times, and it just didn't end up happening. And that's why he was in story given a title shot.
And everything you just said was true. And that brings me up again to pre-Smets IG. It's not just a level of play, which he did bring up, but it was also he was finally another name, and then other names came. But like for the longest time, it was like, hey, do you got Kalinowski or Cushing? Well, then we don't know who this new person's going to play. Like, there wasn't a lot of really... Like, what, you had Habon in the Enforcer. I can't even remember his name.
There wasn't a
lot of medium.
Yeah.
But no...
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, how much time did you have between the IG tournament and frickin' Spectacular? A month?
True.
Well, you're going to do a whole IG frickin' bracket right now? I do completely agree with you, but that doesn't mean that storylining somebody up, I do get why they do it, but that still puts a weird freaking asterisk on things. And I don't think it's an important asterisk, you know.
If he won, yes, but because he lost, I don't think the asterisk goes there.
He won that.
What?
Yeah, and also...
the second match with Mara.
Yeah.
Oh, the second one. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
In which he asterisks his way in and won. But I think that validates him being in it because he clearly deserved to be in there. He won.
And that's another thing I've been arguing about this online all the time too, with the recent Collision Kevin Smith championship run. And just like it's not up to you to choose your opponents. It's just up to you to get through your matches and get your wins. And a lot of people complained about this specific setup because it was 4 relatively unproven, in quotations, players who would all be 4-0 before they were facing a champion. Like 4 wins in a row, which is a tournament. That is exactly... It's just, I think there's an issue sometimes when you can't see it coming, and there's an issue when it's very specifically placed in front of you. There's kind of a fine line that needs to be pulled with like these sort of storyline runs. But like that earlier in the season, the Marisol, Video Drew, Janine, and Kevin Smith, like, I find that one of the coolest new lines in the Schmoedown because it's all new faces, and they're all gonna prove themselves against each other, the way Snyder and Bibiani and then Draco did against each other in their day.
Yeah, we should actually probably be wrapping it up because it is getting a little.
I know, and then I was gonna bring up Kevin Smith, but I like all what you just said and all the new names, especially all 4 of those people have never had number 1 contender matches. A lot of them been around for a long time, and cool, give them that thing. I don't think that Smith should have a number 1 contenders match right now. I think that he should have one more win, and again, I don't get to choose. But my main reasoning is. So if Stacy beat him, she gets a number 1 contender match? No, she wouldn't.
Yep. No, she wouldn't. And
she wouldn't. She's coming off of one or 2 wins. She wouldn't have got. She wouldn't have got that. They're just giving it the. I'm sorry, but that's gotta be favoritism.
Yeah, but
and
again,
I know it's a TV show. I get it.
No.
If Ben Bateman had one bad day, Andrew Guy was playing a championship match.
Yeah,
was Andrew
but that
Guy
was also
going
dumb.
to win a championship?
But that was a specific match skip. Andrew Guy was supposed to play Kalinowski, and Kalinowski bounced out, and they didn't have anyone to give him, and then they give it to that. That's a completely different situation.
But Taco,
and if Kevin Smith wins the championship, it's the Kings winning the cup in 26 games.
He's not going to beat.
Here's
Marisol,
why I don't have
period.
an issue with Kevin Smith as in a number 1 contenders match, because he is following the same path as everybody before him has done since the start of the Schmoedown. You have to win 3 straight matches in a row to get the title match. He's won 2. The third's all right.
I want to put a message out to. I'm going to put a message out to Christian Harloff. If I can play Jericho and freaking Brett Sheridan, and then somebody else who's not coming off of a bunch of wins, and they get a number 1 contender match, call me because I'm going to win those.
A number 1
those are not insane
shit because you're not going to beat Marisol. So you're
but that's besides the point. But that's besides the point. It's still number 1 contenders match. No, he should have one more win
and wins in a row. It has nothing to do with your skill level. That's my point. Anyone can get there. Andrew Guy was dragged.
But what if Stacy got it? Stacy wouldn't have got a number 1 contenders. But that match wasn't a number 2 contender. The only winner of Stacy Kevin that's going to get a number 1 is Kevin.
She would have got a number 1 contender because it would have been her 3rd win in a row.
I'm looking at the wins losses. Okay. She won 2 in a row prior to losing Kevin.
I guess I forgot. I thought she was off 1 other win. I thought it was 2 in a row. I didn't know it was 3. My bad. Daniel's the smartest guy here. So does the most attractive guy. And I'm clearly the most tired
Okay, now
guy.
we can end the show.
She beat Dipper in that underrated match from last year. Then she beat Grey Drake in November. And then it was...
I forgot she was coming off of 2 wins. Yeah. I shouldn't even have been here. I'm like freaking the guy from Clerks. I shouldn't be here today. Kevin's gonna shut up.
And speaking of that, thank you guys, everyone, whoever it was who joined us live today. We greatly enjoyed it. Daniel, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, I can be found around our Facebook page, which can be just found at Schmoes of the North. And also I'm on Twitter at Avengers_SOTN. That's Avengers with a Canadian little EH flourish to it. And I also do a bunch of different shows on this channel. You can find me periodically, kind of rotating guest host on Speaking of Schmoedown with Louis and the rest of the Chaycast network. And yeah, just wherever Schmoedown things can be found, you can definitely find random comments of mine.
And what about you, Taco, coming from the remote cabin in the backwoods?
It's the Black Hills, okay, not the backwoods, but kind of. We made multiple banjo jokes. Going in the middle of nowhere, I'm like, anyone else smell like wrong turn characters? Anyone else hear banjos?
Most of Canada is a forest, to be fair. Yeah. So, like, if we walk 3 feet off a road, we're in the backwoods.
I actually wish I could have shared the good parts of this bike ride with the whole world because it was actually amazing when I wasn't going uphill and like trying not to cry. It was some really bad. It was a bad couple of moments. No, we were having like elementary school conversations with each other because our brains were shut off because we were trying to bike. We're sitting up like, I like the color yellow. Like we couldn't talk. Like brains were fried because our bodies are just going. It's been a day. Okay,
Nice.
You can find me here on Fridays, sometimes on Sundays, very rarely on Sundays, but sometimes mostly on Fridays. I'm doing one today because I don't like skipping a Friday because I can't do any other shows. Also on Saturday, The Amazing Soda. There he is. The Amazing Soda is producing my Star Wars show. Let's talk about Star Wars. And we have Evan / Gold Leader as my Chewie, my Chewbacca. For you uninitiated, it's a Star Wars reference. And we talk about Star Wars. And yeah, it's like Star Trek, but way better. So
Check it out sometime.
We took two. Thank you. We took 2 weeks off because my daughter turned 1 last week, and I went on a giant bike ride this week. And so we're coming back next week, ranking all the Skywalkers. I'm ranking the 7 Skywalkers that are Legend exclusive, and Gold Leader is ranking the 6 Skywalkers that are canon exclusive. And if you want to know if Shmi Skywalker beats Rey in Gold Leader's eyes, we'll find out. And she should. I don't like Rey. I'm kidding. But thanks for showing up, guys. This is an amazing couple matches. This is awesome.
She's no Jaina, but I like Rey well enough.
That's my stuff. And guess what? Jaina's going to be high, buddy. She's going to be up there. I love Jaina Solo.
Before I go to my plugs, I just want to issue this warning. Don't let the runtime of episode 1 of Let's Talk About Star Wars scare you. That was a one-off. They're not going to be almost 3 hours long every time.
No, they're not. I did not know what I was doing. I wrote a script for something completely different, and it lasted way too long.
Although, if you are interested in content that runs that long, I am kind of working on a side project here that will be sort of long form.
Is it the one you've been messaging me about?
Yes. Yeah. You've definitely heard about it, but once I have more things to announce is when I'll actually bring it up. But
if I'm not involved, I'm going to feel offended.
And as for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me. It's going to be every Saturday starting next week, producing Taco's show. You can find me all over this channel, on this show, and our Sunday show. We also have Mount Schmoedown coming up tomorrow morning, where they are going to be doing the career of none other than classy Clark Wolf. So don't forget to check that out. You can also find me over on my other channel, Media Sweaties Network, where I do several shows over there with my friend Ben Rayner. Recapping the past, Shooting the Breeze, and Get Sweaty, our top 5 show. Oh, and also, I would be remiss if I didn't say this as well. Hopefully, we will get our ducks in a row and we'll come back with episode 3, myself and Dave of Canadian Comic Book Corner. So definitely keep an eye out for that, where we will be doing a massive Green Lantern event, whose name of the run escapes me at the moment.
Let me know when you finally track him down so I could do episode 3 of my show with Dave.
Right? You hear that, Dave? If you're still watching, you're on Daddy, you son of a bitch. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and to everything that we are all involved in. And on behalf of these 2 gentlemen and Dave and Lou, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, we wish you a very good evening. Have a good weekend, and we will see you Sunday on the next edition of Schmoedown 9 in Canada. Stay sweaty and smash cancer, everybody. See ya.